in the previous session, we created a Spring MVC project with the help of Maven, right, where we mentioned what exactly we need, as part of pom.xml file, because we decided to go ahead with Maven, right? So we mentioned all the jar files: Spring Web MVC, JavaX Servlet, JSTL, JavaX Servlet API, all those dependencies, and we created the application initializer to bootstrap the project, to start the project, right? Now when we create a project using Spring Boot, another component, another module, another project of Spring Framework, right, when we decide that, so first of all, Spring Boot is one of the project that comes under Spring Framework umbrella, like Spring MVC, Spring JPA, Spring REST. So programmers uses Spring Boot for faster production grade application, creation, right? Easily we'll be able to create the project and easily our project will run, right? So these are the two things. With a minimal fuss, you will be able to create an application which is up and running for your development process, right? And that is what we are going to do, right? We'll follow all the steps one by one to establish a Spring Boot project, same MVC project using Boot. So very first point is that I need to create a same Maven project but with the help of Spring Initializer. Then all these points, how we will add the dependencies, where we'll add the JSPs, where we'll add the CSS and images, static folder, resource view resolver, database configuration. So to run a Spring Boot project, you need a database, right? This is MySQL Developer. Once you install it, if you have Windows or Mac, you'll get a workbench to start with, right? So when you see MySQL on the left hand side, you need to start this. And as part of our entire code that we have given you the queries to create a database and to create tables and to create records. We have given you all those queries. For example, here if you go and check, if you download your Spring code, you'll get the database queries and the table queries and the these H+, right? These, yes. You'll get that to create the database and to create the tables, right? So once you download MySQL, you'll be able to do that. I mean, you'll be able to establish, you'll be able to create a database and you'll be able to create tables, right? So that is required if we are using any database configuration. I'll tell you, we have application.properties here. Ultimately in the end, we'll add the database configuration as part of properties file. So the moment we add it, MySQL should be there, right? So how shall we start? We need to start with Spring Initializer, right? We can generate a Maven project with the help of Spring Initializer. A Gradle project, language of your choice, boot version. So Spring Initializer is a technique which is given to us by Spring only, right? What it will do, it will generate there is something called as boilerplate code. Boilerplate code means in every project that same piece of code is there to start the project. This is Spring Initializer, Maven, Java, version 2.3.4, group, artifact, name, description, package name, war file, Java version. I can select dependencies I can add from here, right? Remember in the previous session when we created a Spring MVC project with the help of Maven, I gave the group ID, the domain ID basically under which my project works, basically the organization name. I gave a group ID like this, for example. Otherwise Apache files go into org Apache, commons logging, there are multiple group IDs who has created multiple jar files. Artifact ID, name of a project, right? So let's say my name of a project is I'm creating Spring MVC, with the help of Spring Boot only. This is a Spring Boot project basically, right? This is a Spring Boot H+ application, right? So that same artifact ID can be used for as a name of a project. Demo, you can say we have a H+ application which explains all the food items that you need to have while going for gymming and all that. So we'll create all the use case scenarios for those, right? Package name will be org Spring Framework project, under that my project name, war file, and Java version 1.8, right? So that is a basic information that you can give, right? Then comes the part, dependencies part. What do you need? Remember in the previous session we mentioned all those dependencies, right? Here also I can add the dependencies. So I will be using Java Persistence API, MySQL. I clicked over here and it is added, right? Java Persistence API, repository annotations comes as part of it. Whenever you are using database, if you are using Spring JPA, use it. The APIs come from Hibernate also, right? Our application will be able to talk to the database just because of this driver. We'll inject the dependency like this, and nothing can work unless and until I don't add Spring Web, right? This one. So all the annotations, component scan, configuration annotation config web application context, via which we register the config file and give to dispatcher servlet, can be done only via this, right? So JPA is added, web is added. Then I need to add one more because I'm using MySQL. So especially I have to add this connector called MySQL driver, right? So the dependencies also I added over here, Java language, Maven, version. I can use 240 also. 234 is a stable one, and we will create a war file, not a jar file, web archive resource. Why? I have JSPs. Jar does not have JSPs. Java version 1.8. The moment I say generate, it will create the project in my local environment, downloads folder, right? You see the project has come over here, right, as a zip file, right? This is a project that has come, Spring MVC with Spring Boot H+ app. If I want to extract this, in the downloads folder, I can create one new folder, which is right now in the download folder they have created the project with my name only. I mean this with the name of a project only, Spring MVC with Spring Boot H+ app. I said okay, you can place the project in this very folder only, right? So the moment I said okay, the project is created over there. Now to run that project, I will again go to IntelliJ IDEA. This is IntelliJ IDEA. I'll say file. This time I am opening a project. I have got downloads. Under downloads I have got Spring MVC project, this one. Remember we created a folder with this very name, right? So the moment I select this, again it will ask me, do you want to open a project as part of a same window or a new window? I will select a new window, right? But all the basic project will be created for us. So I said new window. It will create the project for us in a new window. It will take a minute to get that project in shape. Background, you see they are resolving the Maven dependencies in my local M2 folder, right? I will add 2 more dependencies. JSTL does not come. And remember, I added the Tomcat plugin for war creation and war deployment in the previous session. Right, here also I will tell that it is embedded. Please use it for all servlet JSP compilation and for deployment also. Right, it is running the project in the background, and I will create controller and I will create application config. Application initializer is also not required. Why? Because Spring Boot gives you one annotation called as Spring Boot application. Right, in the previous session I created application initializer, which implements one interface that gives me on startup method. The class which will have Spring Boot application, this class will also implement same interface, and that method will already be there, so I don't have to worry about this. Dispatcher servlet is also being managed by this. Config file will be automatically found by Spring Boot. Right, so the overhead of starting a project, creation of a project, deployment of war is taken by a Spring Boot itself. Right, that is a major thing for web programmers. Right, coming back to my project, let's see where have we reached. This is our project. Right, I'll just hide this part. It is still loading the src folder and everything. I can open my pom.xml in the meantime. Right, so this is the group ID that I gave. This is the artifact ID. Version war is going to happen. Java 1.8 version I selected. I got boot, I got web, I got MySQL connector. All this I was looking for, that I added in Spring Initializer, that came. Once the project comes into shape, you will see all libraries will come automatically because of this parent, Spring Boot starter parent. Right, as I said, I still need two dependencies. Spring does not support JSTL, but we'll need it because we are using JSTL. Every project uses JSTL as part of JSP, so they have to add it separately. I will also add it separately. Right, so one dependency I can add for JSTL, another dependency I can add for Tomcat. Right, dependency. Right, in this versions are not required because that will be managed by boot itself. So group ID, it is not taking up because in the background it is still processing my POM. It is still getting all the jar files. You can see on the left hand side the project has come up. So I was saying I need the JSTL. So group ID for JSTL is JavaX Servlet. Artifact ID is of course, artifact ID is of course JSTL, Java Server Page Standard Type Library. So it is still running two processes in the background. Let me see. This project has given us pom.xml, src folder, main, Java resources has come, package has come. I was talking about servlet initializer and the startup project that has also come. Right, so this is one dependency. I can click on enable import, enable auto import, so it will start coming automatically all the changes that I am making in pom.xml. That was one. Second, I was talking about org Apache. That is a group ID for all, that is a group ID for all Apache based jar files. Org Apache Tomcat, and embed is a name of a group ID. Artifact ID is Tomcat -embed -Jasper. This will help us to load the, first of all create the war file and then deploy the war file. Right, org Apache Tomcat embed error pom central repository. Two processes are still running in the background. Let it run all the processes. Org Apache Tomcat.embed, Tomcat -embed -Jasper. Scope, I can say it is already provided by the server, so I can mention the provided scope. Right, because it is Tomcat is there as part of boot based project, right? So I can check the libraries. They have got all libraries for us that we require to build a project, to create a project, to start a project, right? I have everything with me just because of Spring Boot. I was talking about this servlet initializer. It extends this, if you check this API, this implements web application initializer on startup, and that was what I was talking about, right? That it also implements the same class that we created in the previous session, right? And our project will run because of this very class, which has Spring Boot application on top of it. Run method is there as part of a main method, right? To create a project, to deploy a project is very easy thing because we have added Spring Boot plugin, right? Tomcat. So all I need to do is Spring Boot run. But there are other things that I have to mention. We have MySQL. So I have got application.properties. I will mention all the features to talk to the database, and I will mention port number over here, right? So once this project comes in shape, I can, I have got resources folder. Under that I have got static folder, right? So web app folder did not come for us. I mean, src main is there, src main java is there. I can mark java folder as generate sources root. It will only have class files, right? So again I can go to my code and I can copy that same same CSS and the images, right? I can go and copy CSS and images. Where are they? src main resources, under static folder they exist. So I just did Control C over here. I came back to my project, selected static, put Control V, and you see now images and CSS has come to static folder, right? CSS cascading style sheets, images which my JSP requires to print them. But I don't have web app folder under src main. I here also under src main you see java and resources folder is there, but parallelly they have web app folder also. So I can create one more directory with the name web app in src main. Web app should have webinf. Webinf should have JSPs, and all my JSPs will go in the JSP folder that goes under webinf, right? So I can copy index.jsp from web app, webinf, JSP. This is the JSP that we will like to show to the end user, or if you are working as part of a Spring Boot project, you will get JSPs automatically, right? So our basic structure is created. JSPs have come, CSS has come, images have come, package is there. Now I will start with that application config file, right? Whose job is to tell where CSS and the images are placed, whose job is to look out for controllers, which is basically a configuration class, right? Who has to look out all controllers using component scan. I just need to give the base packages. Base package means the directory location where we'll find all controllers. So this is the actual directory location, right? So I copied this and I pasted it as part of base packages, right? So I copied this. I said you'll need to look out for controller in this package only, right? An application config file will always be a child of WebMVC configuration support. WebMVC configuration support. I need to be a child of org, yes, alt enter. So this file, why? Because I need to tell where to look out for. So I have got add resource handler. In this very method, again I will mention the same thing. Where are the helpers for dispatcher servlet? So registry object is being given to me. I will add the resource handler. To resource handler, I'll tell you need to look out for CSS and the images. Where will you get that? In src main resources folder that comes under your class path. So how to look out for? Go to your class path, src main resources. Under that, now static folder is there, and then under static folder you will get CSS and the images, right? So I said this is from where you will get the CSS and the images. Then I need to create a Java Bean object, right? View resolver, internal resource view resolver, right? Internal resource view resolver will help us get the location of JSP. Right? Internal resource view resolver, alt enter, and JSP is also added. Now object will be created by this name, JSP view resolver. Bean ID will be created by this name. First is, let's create the object that I need to return. Same thing I will do. Tell the location of JSPs by setting the prefix, adding the suffix .jsp. Where does JSP resides? In webinf folder under JSP folder. View resolver, set suffix. What is that suffix? Add this extension. After this is done, who is going to compile our class JSP file, for which I added JSTL view.class, right? JSTL view, I have added that class from JSTL package, right? Ultimately I need to return that object, because return type of my method is internal resource view resolver, and object will remain there the time application is up and running. So application config is there. It will automatically be pulled by servlet initializer, and project will start via this very class. So controller should be there, right? Who will return index.jsp, right? Who will basically mention what to type, things like that. So controller class has to be there, and then we can look out for. So I can simply create a class called home controller. So let's say I created a class, with the name home controller, right? So this is a controller where entire business logic resides, right? Here I'm going to return the name of a JSP, so I'm saying show home page, right? How will this method be recognized? Via get mapping. What will be the URL pattern? If from UI this controller is being called, please run this method. I can write one statement that I have successfully reached in the home controller of my Spring Boot project. Something like this we can type, and ultimately I need to return the string index.jsp. Prefix suffix is there as part of internal resource view resolver. I have mentioned this, but the project will not work right now. You have got one resource which is application.properties, which is empty right now. I have to mention the port number, I have to mention how to talk to the database, right? I have to mention all those configuration which are required to run this application. Now first property, it's very important. It comes from JPA and Hibernate package. The name of a property is DDL, auto, data definition language auto. I'm putting value update over here. I'm saying database is there, table is there, queries are there. I don't have to create tables on the fly. We will talk about this feature in the coming classes, how you can create tables on the fly, how you can add record on the fly, how you can delete record on the fly. All that you can do. Right now, what is the URL to connect to the database? So Spring data source URL. Similarly, I'll have to tell what is the username to connect to the data source, what is the password to connect to the data source. Those all information I have to give. Right? So username and password for my database, I have mentioned it as root. Right? And I can give the server port also. Let's say I want to run my application on 7723 port. That also I can mention. But what is the URL to connect to the database? So I can use JDBC. This is MySQL. So JDBC MySQL. The database is present on my local. I have given 3306 port and my name of a database is H+. Once you use that same queries that I was showing you, if you use those same queries, the database will also be created on port number 3301, right? And the name of a database will be set by those queries itself. Entire database will be created by those queries. So without these configuration, the project will not come up, right? And that's it. This is what is required to create a successful Spring Boot project. Giving a configuration class, where to look out for controllers, where to look out for CSS and images, who will resolve the JSP for us, right? Controllers. In the next classes, I will put this in config package, I will put this in controllers package. We will create multiple repository, beans package, multiple things will create. Application properties is of course required. Index.jsp will print, right? So we have added that plugin for boot creation. The moment I select Spring Boot under plugins and the moment I select Spring Boot run, it will create a war file, deploy the war file on which port number? On this port number. Now localhost port number will be there. After that I will simply look out for home controller to show index.jsp. Now name of project will not come. That is the thing about now the name of a JSP, now the name of a project will not come. Alright, I'll have to wait for a minute for for war to be created and war to be deployed. Right, so that is what Spring Boot is, and Spring Boot is always created via Spring Initializer. Right, you need to carefully work on this, and in the coming classes I'll add multiple more dependencies. Right, so Spring Initializer is being given to you by Spring Framework only. Right, going back to the project, this is our project, Spring MVC project with the help of Spring Boot H+ app. Right, if I have done anything wrong, exceptions will come and I have to resolve that part. Right, all these configurations I have mentioned. If I have done any spelling mistake, it will give me the error. So Tomcat is successfully initialized on 7723 port. Right, you need to look out for how much milliseconds they took to start up the server. Right, so I can place the URL for myself that I am looking for localhost, port number is 7723, and under that home is there. Right, so this database is getting connected. Whenever you establish a new project, it takes a little while to establish the connection with the database. We are going to add records from database, from our application to database. We are going to delete record from database through our application. We are going to update records. So they have mentioned that they took this much amount of milliseconds to start the process. So when I say enter over here, localhost 7723. The process is still running, right? And it has successfully shown me that application of ours. We will create login, registration, search, many things will do as part of this very application. And they have shown that you have successfully reached to the home controller. This is what you need to learn before you create a Spring Boot project, right? Till the time you cannot successfully create a base Spring Boot project, next we are going to learn controller based annotations, we are going to learn validations, exception handling, view resolver, rest. Nothing will work out unless and until we are not confident in establishing a project itself, right?
Yes.
So this is about Spring Boot creation. POM is being handled by Spring Boot starter parent, by Spring Initializer. Servlet Initializer was being given to us. Spring Boot application annotation was given to us to start the project. I did not configure dispatcher servlet this time. I did not mention set load on startup. All those configuration I did not mention, right? So faster production grade applications are created with the help of Spring Boot. Spring Boot is just one project of Spring Framework. It is popular because it has made life easy for programmers for build creation and build deployment and war creation. Dependencies are not to be remembered, but you need to mention the configuration file, how to look out for CSS and images, where to look out for JSPs and all that. We will update that configuration file with n number of configuration. For example, interceptors, formatters are required. This is how we can successfully create a Spring Boot project.